Thanks, Andrew. I want to, first of all, record my appreciation on behalf of the ministry that I hold to the President of PNG Chamber of Resources and Energy, Anthony Smari, who's here, as well as Richard Kasman, a senior member of the Chamber. I stand here before you, be with you for only 10 minutes, and I feel that it's as if I was here only yesterday. It was not that long, I think, in my view, back in 2007 when our founding father appointed me as Minister for Petroleum and Energy, and I was given an opportunity to speak before this esteemed chamber at the Hilton. But once again, I want to acknowledge and thank our Prime Minister for gracing the occasion and opening the very important investment conference, and for ministers who've spoken earlier in this conference. I want to also acknowledge the presence of our Minister for Fisheries and Marine Resources, the Honorable Jalta Wong, the member for Kainentu, the Honorable William Magauno, and all the family faces, especially the chairman and directors of various companies under the SOE group. And of course, not forgetting Augustin Mano, the managing director of MRDC, who's here, and Ronald McCarthy, the managing director of the newly formed National Energy Authority, and our friends from the various companies and participants in this very important mining and oil sector. As we all know, this conference has a long history, and it has provided the platform for those who are already participating in the industry, as well as those who have especially deep pockets, who want to invest their shareholders' money in what is a really challenging country to invest, especially Papua New Guinea, a country of so many different language groups and different ethnic groups. But although we have those challenges, I dare to say again that we as a country offer some of the best fiscal and tax regimes you can find in the region, and maybe to a certain extent many parts of the world. We've heard from many representatives from the Chamber of the opportunities that are available in our country, and of the challenges they've have faced in trying to see a return on the investment. And from what you've heard, the opportunities are still there, and those who still want to part with their hard-earned shareholder money, there's money to be made out there back home in Papua New Guinea. And of course, when you look at the state enterprises, they, although not many people seem to appreciate, they're in every sector of our economy. They employ nearly 4,000 people. The value of the general business trust is in the vicinity of about 4 billion kina. So they're really a very significant player in our country, for a country like our Papua New Guinea, very significant player. But like all other SOEs, especially in emerging countries, they have the unique challenges. So my little speech before you is to tell you what we're trying to do, and to stress and to try and convince some of you that there are opportunities in the SOEs where you can, of course, consider investing. I start by reminding us that New Guinea, of which we have Gary Sheridan here, they keep telling us that Papua New Guinea is the land of the unexpected. Yeah, but in my view, it's a land of opportunity. It's a land of opportunity for those who want to invest. The SOE group, apart from Kumul Mineral Holdings and Kumul Petroleum Holdings, comprised of 11 companies who operate in many different sectors right across the economy in Papua New Guinea. We start by mentioning PNG Power, for instance, a very challenging company to manage, and of course Water PNG, New Guinea. The list goes on. Even in insurance, they are everywhere, right across banking. All of them have their unique challenges, and I want to point out that most of these companies, excluding Kumul Agriculture, which has just been incorporated, existed, their predecessors existed before PNG became independent. So in many ways they are older than the country itself. And they have continued to play an important role in the economic development of our country. If you look at it, they contribute about 1.3% to the entire GDP. And the assets that are worth about 13.2 billion on the figures that we have. So they are significant enterprises. They do play a vital role in a country the size of Papua New Guinea. And we have Kumul Consolidated Holdings Limited, which owns all of those SOEs. And what we've done is we've realized that all of them, except two companies especially, or three companies, MVAL, PNG Ports Corporation, and Dataco in ICU, to use that term. If we look across the entire range of companies, they all have the unique issues which need, firstly, political will and direction. I want to acknowledge the President of the Governor of Central who's just joined us. Thank you, Madam, for joining us. So all of them have issues, although they are strategic national assets. We've, as a country, recognized that apart from working very hard to attract the investment dollar from companies who participate in the resource sector, the SOEs are also very important players in the entire chain of the business chain. And as you'll appreciate, all of those SOEs provide the infrastructure and the services that those who operate in those environments need. Even in a remote mining town, and you need the service of telecommunications, for instance, air services, even water services. So I just want to emphasize that without those SOEs participating in those areas, it'll be very challenging for all of us there. If we go to a number of companies starting with PNG Power, not forgetting that the principle behind all of this is to stabilize all the SOEs, which I earlier alluded to in ICU, stabilize and then invest, and then and make them grow. Now, we've had calls from many sectors of our community calling for some of those poorly performing SOEs to be partially privatized or wholly privatized. All kinds of answers have been given by everyone, including members of parliament. So the challenge for us as a country is, do we go down the path of partial or even full privatization, knowing very well that most of our people come from the rural areas who do not have the ability to even buy shares, for instance. The idea is to make sure even for those who go down the path of privatization, still need ownership to be held by people from our country. Do we go down the path of partial or full privatization, or do we go down the example or the model that has been used so successfully by Singapore, Temasek? In the case of Temasek, we've studied the concept. We realized that to go down that path, you need that political will in a certain distance from the political leaders and those who run the company. So these are very, very challenging, complex issues. Not easy for us to actually make a decision one way or the other. Of course, the obvious lazy decision is to simply sell them off, not caring who owns them in the end. But we're different. We want to either adopt one of those two models or adopt a hybrid of those kind of models. So those are things we are looking at as a government. If we take the case of PNG Power, we've all known we know about the issues surrounding that very important asset. The government of Marape has not stayed back and done nothing about it. it has recognized that we have ongoing issues, and it has actually put its money where its mouth is. And we've gone ahead and, with the help of our friends from Australia, Japan, and the US, been able to secure financial assistance, and of course technical assistance from them to help us turn that company around. The government has also contributed from the supplementary budget an amount of 211 million kina, especially for PNG Power. It has released the first 110 million, and we're waiting for the balance. We've scoped. There's enough literature on what needs to be done to turn that company around. We know what needs to be done. It'll only be a matter of time. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in restructuring the corporate structure, realignment of staff, the issues that go with having to deal with quite a strong union. So it's an ongoing work. We're also looking at supplying power to the Wafi Golpu mine, depending upon certain hurdles being met. We are confident we can deliver that from the Ramotu project. And then we're looking at Guinea. Most of us have heard about what is happening there. Government has also supported Guinea in its refleeting program. We estimate it will cost nearly 4 billion kina or 3 billion kina to help us acquire 13 new aircraft, 11 especially from Airbus, the A220, the wide-bodied regional aircraft, which we think will help us replace the F-70s and F-100s, who are actually out of production now. And we're also looking at taking delivery of two 787 Dreamliners. They'll help strengthen this fleet. So it's looking very, very good for Guinea. Hopefully with the Airbus 220s, which have efficient fuel capacity and bigger space, we'll be able to utilize them for the next 10, 15 years, make a profit, and then look at reducing the airfares for our long-suffering customers. We also trying to look at a possible partial sell down of telecom. We've had very strong and genuine negotiations or discussions with one of our sewer funds. The idea is that we still, through the sewer funds and a few landowners, retain ownership of that strategic asset in country. We also working together with the Australian government, and I'm thankful, like I noticed Diane Buckley is here as well as the others. We're quite lucky to have Australia who've provided never-ending support, especially for Darako. With their help, we are conducting a technical and financial audit of Darako, and hopefully we'll be able to see an improved performance from Darako and cheaper fees being charged by Darako. With post-PNG, again, as we all know, with the advent of this device that all of us are holding, people have stopped writing letters to each other. And so the challenge is for post-PNG to diversify, and I can say that it has done quite well in terms of logistics. In the logistics area, it has been able to compete competitively with TNT and other established logistic providers. Post-PNG has been able to secure some good contracts from some of our government departments, especially the Department of Health, and of course companies like Coke and ExxonMobil. And so they've done well. They've realized that they have to diversify in order to survive. And on top of that, they still continue to hold prime real estate. As you all know, when we were under the Australian government, they decided to establish post offices in prime centers in all our towns. So they still have a substantial portfolio of land holdings there. Then Water PNG, we think there is an opportunity for Water PNG to consider providing services for new mines such as Wafi Golpu. They are very interested, and of course we all aware of the challenges that are faced by Water PNG in providing consistent and efficient service to Port Moresby and other cities. There are only two profitable centers, Port Moresby and Lae. Like many other SOEs, we see them as C centers. Our companies have especially Water PNG, continues to provide those services as community service obligations. They are mainly loss-making centers. And then going to PNG Ports Corporation. PNG Ports Corporation is a very successful SOE, a good story to tell. They were able to come with a 15-year master plan, and we were able to I must use this word convince, I'm not sure whether convince is the right word, but convince our friends from Australia to help us with a loan of 1.4 billion kina, which will be put to good use. We've changed the way things have been done. We prefer that in dealing with this sort of large infrastructure projects, we have reps from Australia overseeing the important issues of tendering, evaluation of tender, and supervision of construction, so that quality is all maintained right throughout the process, and we get the end product that we deserve. And I want to also acknowledge the arrival of the Managing Director of Kumul Petroleum Holdings. Thank you for attending. So Ports PNG is another success story, continues to deliver consistent dividends to the shareholder. And then we've started a lot of work with NDB. You heard about the government investing a lot of money, targeting our small people at the SME center. The government's not about talking only. It started by allocating 200 million kina in 2020, and it has consistently been providing the help that we need. And these sort of things take time. Our people need to be told the requirements and the process. So very soon, in the next couple of years, you'll see some positive results from this significant investment by our government. We've got Kumul Agriculture, which is a fairly new company that has been established by our government. The idea is to partner those who want to invest in the agriculture sector. We're trying to adopt a regime similar to the regime we're seeing, which is working in the mining and oil sector. We invite those who want to invest in large-scale agriculture sector, and then the government acquires a token 30, or even not token, but a significant interest of maybe 20 to 30%, to give the investors that assurance that you have a government who is present in your register, who will be your partner as you go through this journey of identifying large-scale agricultural projects and operating them. So the government becomes a shareholder through Kumul Agriculture, just like the system that we have in our oil and gas sector, where through Kumul Mineral Holdings and Kumul Petroleum Holdings. So it's a fairly new company, but we see a good future for that company. And we're also looking at public-private partnership model. As most of you may be aware, Parliament has passed the Public-Private Partnership Act, and so it forms a basis for us to work forward in this sector. Most of you may be aware that there is a large prime area of land that's just near the Port Moresby Harbour, the old port precinct. That is owned by KCH. They're actively looking for potential partners to help develop that waterfront. So there's an opportunity out there for those who want to come with us on this journey of developing that prime block of land. You may have also read and heard about applications for expression of interest put out by Water PNG for those who want to partner us in a build, own, operate, and transfer system, where we want to completely overhaul and rebuild the entire water and sewage system for Port Moresby, the city of Lae, Hagen, and Kokopo. So there is opportunities for those who want to help us go down that path of building, owning, and operating, and then transferring that asset back to ourselves. So, and of course, there is a large portfolio of prime real estate land bank that's under KCH right throughout our cities. as most of you will know, in Papua New Guinea, only 3% of the land is state land, and 97% is owned by our people. So with that 3%, with the increase in the size of our populations and increase in the towns, land becomes a premium. And we at KCH and the SOE group are very lucky that we have a large land bank which we want to also develop with partners who want to come in the journey with us. So what I'm saying now is that yeah, we've had issues. Most of our SOEs have not been performing very well, but our government, the Maraban government, has realized that we have to do something. There's no point encouraging those who want to invest in other sectors to invest when the services are not competitive. So the government of Maraba has started by introducing legislative changes to the KCH Act, which now makes it mandatory for all boards to be made of women, about 30%, and for very thorough audits to be done independently by SOEs, independent and thorough recruitment process where people are recruited on merit. And so we've done a lot of work, and slowly we are changing the SOEs around. So in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll see better performing SOEs who are able to provide efficient and cheaper services for those who operate in our country. So we've recognized that unless we do something, all of those who we are trying to encourage to invest in our country will face significant obstacles trying to operate their businesses. So we are doing that. We're not sitting back. We've done a huge amount of work. We've engaged outside consultants and accountants, technical experts to turn all of our SOEs around. And for example, with the case of PNG Power, we've just recruited 2 Australians, qualified Australians. This is a start of a journey. We will be recruiting more experts to come help turn our SOEs around. We no longer believe in political patronage. You will see that what we've done is in the case of recruiting directors and SOEs, we've engaged external consultants who are based not in PNG, but in Brisbane. So whoever is interested in being considered to be appointed as a director or even a CEO of the board has to apply directly to those external recruitment consultants. They go through a process. KCH and myself at my level, we only consider the end product. We have no discussion there. We just required to consider those who are recommended, and then they get appointed to those boards. So in terms of management and board level, we are starting this merit-based process that started in 2019. We are beginning to see good quality people on the board as well as in the management ranks of our SOE. So all in all, I can assure our friends is that we are slowly turning around. We are beginning to see good results. We realize that if we want to go there, we've got to change the way we've been operating for the last 40 years for the better. So there's good opportunities out there for those who want to invest in the SOEs, especially in those companies I mentioned. And there you go. And once again, thank you for listening.